Well, hello. Whether it's good morning, good evening, hello to our three community and family all across the world. I love it that I can say good evening and good morning and know that we're connecting no matter where you are in the world. This is exciting. This is really exciting that we have a special edition interview with Miss Kimwi tonight. We absolutely love Kim and what she brings to our community and the vision. And we're going to have some really quality one-on-one time with her tonight. And first, though, my name is Holly Deat. In case this is new and you have not heard from me before, I am here, been here at three since the very beginning. Since the very beginning, it was one of those automatic yeses for me. I knew right away, and really one of my biggest signs that I knew was when I first met Kimwi. When I met her and I heard her speak from her heart to a group of leaders, and I knew there were signs for me of little things that she said that completely resonated, and I was like, I have to be a part of this. Like I'm not missing out. This is it. And more importantly, I want to partner with her. That's who I want to partner with. I want to be led by the best. And that is who we have on with us tonight. We have Kim, and we have Kim who's joining us from her home in Los Angeles, California. We're always like, where's Kim at? Is she in Los Angeles? Is she in Sedona? Is she over in Hong Kong and Malaysia, Taiwan? Where's Kim at? And with Kim, her track record, many of you may not know exactly her track record. And we're going to get into that tonight. I want you to hear from her, some of her story. And, I'll share with you though, I did not know her track record when I met her. And when she talked, though, I knew from her wisdom, her posture, her confidence, her heart, I knew right away this woman has been incredibly successful more than anyone that I have ever been around. And that attracted me to want to know more from her. Yes, there's numbers we could share with her earnings, which has led to a beautiful, abundant lifestyle and where there's so much giving back with Kim. And, she's traveled and been doing business in over 155 countries. And here we are where we get her to really, we're in phase one of our launch. We're in phase one and we're just getting started. And so I'm so happy to be working with Kim. And Kim, thank you for making time to join us on this beautiful evening. You could look where she's at. It's beautiful where she's at. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Holly. Thank you for that introduction, and thank you for being a part of this incredible journey with us. And you look amazing, Holly.
The products that it is. We got on and Peter's like, gosh, this is everybody's looking younger. Like, and it's so true. Whenever I see people, it's everybody's looking younger and younger with what we have Beauty Inside Out. And we're not going to get into products. We absolutely could, for sure. I just came from an opportunity presentation and we love them. Okay, so we are going to have this be a format where I'm going to start, ask Kim a few questions, and
Okay.
you all, you all have an opportunity to ask your own questions. So we have a question, a Q&A button at the bottom of the webinar has a question mark with a little conversation, little bubble, and you can type your question in there. So I'm not sure that I'm going to get to every single question just because of the time. We want you though to ask. And so I will be getting to those. So this is your chance to ask him questions. And business focus, I know that's where my mind goes is I want to talk about business. And so Kim, for some people that don't know your background, where you came in from the corporate environment and you came into this space, how when did you have that aha, those moments where you're just like, what, look at this platform I'm sitting on, like knowing, look what I could do with this, and
Hmm.
knowing the trajectory of where you saw yourself going.
Mm.
That's a loaded question, I know.
That is a loaded question. And I also want to preface by saying that I'm really excited for this call, Holly, because this is totally unscripted. I don't know what questions will come out. And that is part of the journey, right? And so I think too, so sometimes in life, when we look back, it's so easy to say things a certain way. Maybe what I could do is I can take you on a journey of what it
Mhm.
was for me. It wasn't like day one, boom, I knew I'm going to be in this industry. I knew I'm going to be big. I'm not going to be successful. It wasn't like that. And so maybe I could take the audience, Holly, back to my
Mhm.
story 32 years ago. And so 32 years ago, I was 28 years old. I thought that I was in the height of my corporate career. I used to be a vice president for a supplement company. We used to sell it to doctor offices and some of the major Whole Food stores. And so, just out of the blue, unexpected, I got laid off. And so I didn't know what I was going to do. And so when I went to my first, Holly, my first official meeting, I thought I was in for a job interview. And
Mm.
so when I first went there, there was like a couple of hundred people. I go, oh my gosh, I got competition. It was in Southern California back in those days. And so didn't know what I was in for. Somehow one way or the other, I kind of got intrigued and I enrolled, but I didn't know what got enrolled for. But for sure, Holly, it was certainly a journey to take me to where I was and to where I am. But I would say this, Holly, there was two things that I really saw in this space. And number one was I saw 32 years ago, I never show up to work where people were excited and people carry that spark of hope in their eyes. And I saw that in this space. And the second thing I saw people that were average, by educational background, by academia, by, whatever, it's average, but they were able to accomplish and achieve not average stuff. And so that I got intrigued. And
Mm.
so obviously it wasn't like boom, day one, I knew I'm gonna do this. There were times in this journey that I said, is this for me, especially in the very beginning? And so anyway, so that's how I kind of got involved in this space. And it certainly has been a journey. And I would say that the one of the things that's really important to me, and it's in the very beginning of my career, I still remember this industry can be so good, but why is it that there are so many people that look down or that talk about what this industry is and what it can be? And so one of the things, there was one thing I wanted to change was people's perception of what this is, to kind of give a facelift. I said, if this is, and after a couple of years later, I tasted the freedom, I tasted what it feels like to be working in an environment where I could be the best I could be. There's no glass ceiling. And so when I realized that, Holly, one of the things I want to do is I wanted to set a different tone, a different chapter for this industry, whereby we as professionals, we can show the goodness and the professionalism of what this industry is about. And I think the last 32 years, blessed, we were able to do some of that. So.
Absolutely. And, working with you, Kim, the professionalism, and I love to say, I love this space when done right.
Mm,
I do. And it's something that we create ourselves and how we show up to share, we show up to coach people, how we show up to lead people. And so thank you. Thank you for that, because that's where we so align.
I mean, look at you, Holly. You're a professional. You got your college degree. You're a professional corporate world. And so together, I mean, with this whole industry has transitioned in a space where we are attracting people that are like us. And so that's what we're doing.
And Kim, I hear the word burnout with health professionals often. And I'm like, it's not only health professionals. I'm like, even when I was in the corporate world, looking back, I didn't really know the term burnout. Absolutely, there was burnout of working 70-hour weeks and still only getting, a salary, a
Yep.
salary.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So when you're fueled by purpose,
Mm.
which is so much of how we lead and how you lead, and you work. Like yeah, I love it that Kim is like right here with us, you guys. I mean, she is on the ground. She is working. Like what? what has you waking up all hours of the night knowing you're working with Asia and the US, like that purpose, that drive, that fire? I mean, I know you love this community. And like what like I want to help other people to understand their own fuel,
Mm,
like where they
mm.
can tap into their fuel to realize I have a little bit more to give.
Mm, mm. Maybe I could frame it. Maybe people can see it from a different perspective. Maybe I can frame it differently, Holly, because different people have different take on it. And so I will share with my side.
Hmm.
After spending 32 years in this space, I was kind of, and having the blessing of, having the abundance and the time freedom and the money freedom. It's like there come a point in my life, like, what are you gonna do? I mean, you could be any, I still remember there were times like say, hey, what would I do when I become a millionaire? What would I do when money is no longer the issue? So we all have these like long lists of dreams and places that we want to visit and we want to travel. And so for me, I have gone through all that in the beginning stages when you're making money, you begin to buy, as women, we like to buy shoes and purses and all. You've gone through all that iteration of, acquiring stuff, right? And then that acquisition mode, went from, material stuff, clothing to then something even more higher, jewelry, houses, land. And so there come a point, I'm of the belief that there come a point in our life we got to reflect. Like, okay, so what am I gonna do? There's only so many places, countries that you've been to that I could travel to, and so many things that you could do. And so it was a pivotal moment. I would say this. Before three came about, I would say that I was living a life of quietness. And to some people would say it's a quiet luxury. It wasn't loud, it was very quiet. And so, and witnessing what took place, the COVID era, I asked myself, Holly, it's like, what can I do if I were to ever, what am I called on earth to do? And so it was at that time that knowing what's up, I mean, not knowing, but it seems like there was a message, knowing what's about to come in this world, the uncertainty and the changes that's happening. Then I felt there, I don't know what you would call it, a message, a calling to come back out to work. And I'm like, okay, what am I good at? What am I come back out to work for? And it was as if it was looking back, and some would call it purpose, some would call it calling. It was looking back and say, okay, how did I get to where I am in life? Being an immigrant, coming to this country when I was 14 years old, didn't speak the language. And after going to college and going to work in corporate world and then getting in this space, having to manifest what I have in life. And that was my gift. And I know that was my gifting. And so that calling was to come back out to work. To share some of the experiences, some of the stories. The world needs more voices of hope, and so that it was that calling that I came back out to work, and hence this whole three movement had came about, and so you know I would say this. I know that the last couple of years with three, we're drawing people from all walks of life, different, literally from housewives to professionals to people who are aspire to be an entrepreneur, to have financial success, to someone who's very successful financially. Why? What is the polarity? And I would say this. It is that, you know, um, well, how do I articulate that? It was, there was something for all our audiences. Sometimes you join three. Some of you join three because of the product is phenomenal. That the technology were awesome. It disrupting this whole supplement industry. Yes, all that. But there's something that has a deeper connection, and something that is not described by words. It's something that resonates deeply with the resonance in our heart. And so that is that calls me back out to work. I mean, think about this. As we go through this thing called life, what if there had been a point in your life that you will achieve a point in your life that money is no longer the issue? Time freedom, money freedom, what would you do? And so for me, what wakes me up every day, not an alarm clock. What wakes me every day is that I want to help make an impact. I want to make a difference. After you get the money issue out of the way, instead of making money, you want to make a difference. And that's why I'm doing this, Holly. That's what gets me up. That's what gets me traveling all over the place. Because I've been truly blessed by this platform. And like you said, when this industry is done right, it is beautiful.
Mm, beautiful. And I mean, many of you may not realize this. Like people would pay Kim six figures to come in and talk to their teams. And we have her. I mean, she's leading us, but and it's not the money for her to go. She could go on speak on stages, and here we are. So I value that. We have a lot of questions right now.
Okay.
Okay, so let me jump into this. Okay. This one, first one. What was your biggest hurdle in the industry and how did you overcome it?
Mm. That's a great question. My biggest hurdle, it wasn't from outside. It was a noise from inside. The biggest hurdle is how do I how do I integrate what people say about me, what I do? How do
Mm,
I integrate that? See, this is such a beautiful question. When I first got involved in this industry, all my college friends, people that I went to UCLA with, all my college friends, people that work in corporate America with me, they thought I went mad. They thought Kim is crazy, da 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 da. And some are really nice, say good luck to you and whatever. Some are really, really nasty. And so it is that moment of introspection that how do I integrate that? Especially for someone who have been successful in their career. When you encounter the outside view of what you're doing, that integration, I would say that's the biggest hurdle. And
mm,
it has nothing to do with skill sets. I think it's universe of sending you to call into your core. Know who you are, define your role. So I went and have to redefine the role that I was in. I'm an entrepreneur. I don't lie, I don't cheat, I don't steal. I'm a good, honest, hardworking people. So when I have that mission and vision of what I wanted to accomplish, then I continue to went out there. So the biggest hurdle is not the work. The work is simple. The
mhm,
biggest hurdle is our internal, what's between our two ears. How do we integrate what
mhm,
other people say about you? That integration is so important. And maybe I could say this a little bit further more, Holly, is this the hardest, the biggest hurdles is, okay, most people, okay, they have when they see like this is where you are now, okay? So when people come into an opportunity, like I'm looking back at day one, 32 years ago, that's where I was back then, okay? And that present moment that now back then, and when you saw something, meaning you got the spark. The spark is where you aspire to achieve. Like it seemed like, oh my gosh, finally I found a platform. Finally, I found a way out. You talk about burnout. I mean, we didn't think about that, but when I was a senior accountant for a major Fortune 500 company back in those days, there was burnout. I felt like I work in a walk in a cubicle every day. I felt like those fluorescent lights were sucking the
mhm,
juice out of me every day. So that was, but what you got? You got to put foot on the table. So that was what it was. So when you went to a meeting or you got the spark, you saw possibility. And this is the biggest hurdle. Most people think where you are now and you saw the possibility, they think it's a straight line. They think it's a straight line, it's a trajectory, a straight line up. Well, you know what? Just understand when you go on a journey, it's not a straight line up. There's curves, there are twists and turns. That is part of the journey. Most people, when they come into a platform like this, investment is so little, they expect just to get success. They couldn't handle the curves, the ups and downs, the peaks and valleys. So that when we understand that's all part of the journey. You want to be successful, you got to embrace the growth. For if it's just a journey to just get the big check, big money with no growth, no expansion as a human being, it's just money. What does it do to your consciousness. So anyway, I don't want to go too far. So I hope it's a long answer. I hope I kind of tap into that.
No, I think that's very real. I mean, I've gone through that, and I feel like many of our new people, it is, well, what are they going to think of me? And it holds
Mm.
people back from reaching out to people because they're so worried about getting a no from someone that they know, or what are
Yep.
they going to think? And so it's so much in here and getting through that. The road that she shows and how many of us are willing to go through that?
Yep. I mean, look at your journey, Holly. I mean, you were successful in this industry before. Coming over here, most people say, you know what? I'm going to be a six star. I'm going to be at the top. But it was a journey for you, Holly. You
Hmm.
know, you never took your eyes on what you focus on the signal, what you need to achieve. You didn't think about your business were not where it should be, but you kept at the signal instead of focusing on the noises.
Hmm. Yep. You're so laser focused on where you're going that you just shoo anything away that's not
Mm.
in your where you're going.
Yep.
You don't let those distractions become distractions. That's a
Hmm.
choice. Okay, next question. Okay, this one I really feel you've answered, but you may add to it. What is one thing that continues to be your driving force despite being incredibly successful?
Making an impact. You know,
Impact. Yep.
impact. Yeah, yeah.
Impact.
So, you know, success is so used loosely these days. You know, for me, you know, like money is not the issue, time freedom is not an issue. Now I'm empty nester, my son's in college. So, I mean, what do you do? I mean, so yeah, I would say impact.
Impact. Okay, the next one.
Mm,
When you face
mm,
doubts or setbacks, what's the one thought or practice that always resets you?
mm. What is it I want? What is it I'm doing? What am I called to do? See, this is the thing. I doubts after 32 years, I don't I don't I don't have doubts. No, I wouldn't put it this way. Doubts. I I only tune into the signal. Okay, there's a whole the father of communication. I forgot this guy's name. He talked about signals and noises. So this is so prevalent in the business world, and I like to talk about that. If you think about this, the universe, okay, it's broadcasting all the things that you wanted to accomplish. It's broadcasting signal. That's what you wanted to do. But as we live life every day, there are noises, there are distractions. See, some people focus on the noises, but I get things done when I only focus on the signals. So when we talk about doubts, no, I mean I'm trying to think. Doubt? No, no doubt. I mean, I just when you focus on every day, these are a couple of things I need to get done, and I am doing it, and that's all there is. Now, I guess you know what it is, Holly. I'm trying to articulate and trying to make it into words. What's coming to me right now? It is this. I embrace that not everything that happens every day will be perfect. Everything is meant to put in our path to make us stronger because it is also I let me put it this way. I embrace all that. It's part of my journey. It's part of the journey of making impact. Because when you work with the end in mind, everything else will walk it will it's like you know what you're gonna be. I'm now coming back down the road to get up to here because the blueprint is already here. I everything I'm doing is I'm working the blueprint to assembly a team to get this job done.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, and so I would say this: the all our audiences, people that are engaging in as an entrepreneur, know this. Sometimes when when you become when you started your project, you know we have this trajectory. Oh, you know it's gonna be this, it's gonna be this. It's never gonna be like that. Yet the universe would test you to see what you would do. Are you willing? Are you worthy? Are you willing to go through all the work to get you where you are? Because where you are is not only the dollar sign. Where you will achieve, what you become, is a lot more than just a dollar sign.
Hmm. That's awesome. Everything you said is awesome. And I think being open to knowing that that path, you
Mm,
cannot plan your
mm,
path. You just
mm.
know where you're going and go. I mean, I think some of the people, and in the beginning, Kim, I would say, okay, I'm going to enroll these people and they're going to be my go-tos, and they weren't.
Hmm.
Like you can't control what happened. You have to be so tuned in to the signal and let it guide you, and you're just focused and you're going.
100%. I mean, I like to use you as, I mean, I like to ask you a question, Holly. I mean, think about your journey, Holly. You know, you were aiming to run for 6 star long before you hit it. But when
Mhm.
you didn't hit it, what did you go, oh, geez, I didn't hit it? You didn't. You aim it for next month. You aim it for, I mean, talk about that experience, Holly. I mean, you are so humble,
Yeah.
Holly. I know you don't like to talk about your own story, but you are incredible inspirations for so many people. I mean, when you were aiming, you almost got there, but you didn't make it at that month. What did you do, Holly? Did you feel like discouraged? Did you doubt yourself that you were ever going to be a 6 star?
Not at all. I with what I do is I keep the foot all the way down on the pedal and you don't let up.
Yep.
Like we're in such a growth phase right now. I mean, I'm now my foot's down on the pedal. And it's not only about, my rank, it's the people that are all, with me, like helping them to rank up. And so it's not don't take your foot off the pedal. That's what I did.
Mm,
I didn't have disappointment of not hitting it. Like I knew I was super close and I knew that I would, you guys, and it goes like this. Sometimes your cycles are like this and then they go down and then you're like, wait, I want to back up here. And it's the consistency builds your benchmark to have your new benchmark be like what your high was. And all of a sudden
mm,
it's like, wait, that's my new low. And then you keep climbing. So the consistency matters. Events matter, getting in front of people matter. When I found what works, I stuck with it. And it was events and it's in person and it's Zooms and it's getting in front of people and it's over and over and over and over and over again. I just came from an opportunity meeting.
yep.
And I know of three that were happening all around me. And it's continually doing that and not achieving it and then saying, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna step back now." It's keeping the foot on the pedal.
You are one of the most consistent leader I know. And you know, Holly, let me look at you. You have a home in Scottsdale, but I mean, you just said you go back and forth to Iowa, to all over Midwest.
Hmm.
You know, so that's servant leadership.
I love that we get to develop people in our
Mm,
space.
mm.
And you already alluded to the path and the personal journey with it. And I have had such a personal journey. And I love it when people go through that and they grow and they're empowered and they realize they're
Mm,
they're capable of doing way more than they ever thought. And so everybody buckle up
mhm.
because it's be stay on the commit to the journey.
Yep.
Commit to the journey and show up. Show up. Any event that's going on, you're there. You're showing up. You're pouring into yourself. You're pouring into your people. Take people with you.
It's like a gym membership. You know, you get a gym
Yeah.
membership. Hey, if you don't go work out, nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You join, what's it gonna do? Nothing. You gotta go practice, daily
Yep.
practice, discipline. Yep.
So much.
Mm,
Okay, next question. What was the biggest turning point in your mind and actions that created the greatest momentum?
hmm. Relentless. Just have, I would say that the moment you know you can't fail. It is that defining moment when you know without shadow of doubt you can't fail. This thing called life, all this, it's part of the journey, the ups and downs, the challenges,
Hmm.
because you are on a path, not only to be an entrepreneur, to make money, but to make an impact. There's many ways, there's many things you could do to make money. But here is very different. And so I would say for me, the pivotal moment is when I surrender to say that, you know what? It won't fail. I just knew. I just knew. And I'm just, like I said, the blueprint is here. I'm just walking down the mountain and I am digging the trenches. I'm gonna dig bedrock, dig to bedrock, and I'm gonna build my high rise my skyscraper. So it's that inner knowing. And I think what you get in this community is that you get your leader, your people that are working with you, they have such a faith and belief in you. And so in the beginning, when you don't have the belief in yourself, borrow the belief that your leader have in you and work it and work it. See, this is the thing. This thing, when people encounter challenges, they freak out. They literally stop and self-doubt creeps in. But what if, let me ask this question. What if you knew that without shadow of doubt, whatever you set out to accomplish in 3, that you're going to be successful? How differently would you approach this business? How differently would you do this business every single day? What would you do? And so I hope I answered that question. Sometimes like I get a little bit out there, but that's really what it was. Is that I'm stubborn. I'm very stubborn. I have this I don't know. My parents always call me stubborn, and I am. And when I fixated on I'm not fixated. When I set my eyes on something, I'm like I buy onto that signal and I just go at it and go at it and go at it. Noises can just fade. Get away, get away, get away. And so this is the thing. This is what I would say to entrepreneurs. A lot of times when things don't go your way, it is so easy for us to focus on the noises. Okay, the distraction. Oh, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. Da, 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 da. And by the time you look up 6 months gone by, what have you done with your business? Nothing, because we got distracted. So, Holly, did I answer the question?
Yeah, you answered it.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next one, Kim.
Mm.
In your 30 years of experience, what are 3 actions someone can take every day to get closer to building a big team?
Okay. This is the biggest myth. A lot of people think they gotta build a big, big team. You know, a big, big team. Where'd it come from? Number 1, you are very important. You're very pivotal. You are the ultimate enterprise you have to build. You build you. Number 2, understand this process, all we're looking for, get this, all we're looking for is a few good ones. You don't need 100. From a few good ones, you'll build an army. You get a Holly DeMont in the business. You get a Christine Peterson in the business. You get a Samson Lee in the business. You get a few good ones, then you can go out there and build a dynasty. But our objective every day, you gotta be the person you're looking for. Some say, oh, I'm looking for a big leader. What are you? So you gotta be that witch you're looking for. Then you go attract. I'm like Christine always says, a big game hunter. You go out there and look for 3 to 5 good ones. A lot of people will focus. Oh, so many people said no to me. I got a team, they all die. It doesn't matter. I am looking for 3 to 5 good ones to work with. So that would be the second thing. And the third thing is consistent daily practice. Consistent. Every day. Can you set a goal? You need to talk to at least 1 or 2 people a day. If you talk to 1 to 2 people a day consistently, 30 days a week, a month, you would have talked to 60 people. If 60 people, you have a lousy sign-up ratio, okay? Let's say 90% don't enroll, okay? Only 10% enroll. You would enroll 6 people. You enroll 6 people or 6 customers. And over time, you see how that will build up. There's a whole system, a whole global community in place. The people you enrolled, you need to teach them to plug into the system, because the most important part of this business is called duplication. And so there's a whole system in place to help you, guide you along the way. And I would say this, Holly, I'm jumping ahead. I don't know what else is coming question-wise, but I would say there's a lot of people take everything upon on their shoulder. I'm going to do this. This is my people. But when you learn to leverage the tools the system of what we have, then you gotta, it's about leverage. It's not about you doing everything. It's you leverage the system, let the system help you, guide you along to guide you and your people to duplicate. Yeah, I would say that the number three thing is to leverage because that is a power of duplication. And so
Mhm.
three things.
I love it. Love it. Okay, the next one. When you first started,
Mm.
how did you build belief in yourself and
Oh,
before you had big results?
it is a journey of a lot of reflection, introspection, and self-work. I mean, I would say this, that belief in myself, in the beginning, it was a stubbornness, right? I mean, like I'm stubborn. I want to be successful. I want to make my parents proud and da 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 da, right? So that was the stubbornness in the beginning. But believing in ourselves, there will come a point in your life, you're like, you know, all the naysayers, all the people, either they're successful or not successful, it doesn't matter. But when this is the point, it come to I realize is this: whatever other people say, if I'm in a situation that I need to find ways to save my finances or to whatever, will those naysayers gonna pay my bill?
Mm,
If not, whatever they say, it don't matter. Okay. So and that's you that there's something, it's a quiet moment. You get into a space where you say, you know what? I the most important person you can believe in is yourself. It was and the other thing is this, Holly, when you get to there'll be a point in your journey. You have mastered certain tasks. You're like, you know, I got this. I am made for this. And I truly believe we are all made for times like this we're living in. You know, certainly with what's happening out there with AI and uncertainty and all this stuff, we are made for time like this. So this is something that, it's not even words, Holly. I mean, I don't want to get too far out of the topic, but this is something that I would say this. Holly. I mean, what are the odds for someone who got college educated, got laid off, lost everything, and then found myself in this space and built and made something of myself? You know, at that moment, like most people, they have money, they have time, they could have said, you know what, I check out, I'm going to do whatever I love. But what are the chances of a group of us who have had success in this space, a group of us decide to come out and want to help make a difference in this world,
mhm.
you know? And so, yeah, I hope I didn't
Yeah.
went off a tangent.
Oh,
Sometimes
no,
I do.
so good. Okay, let's see. This is a great one. What do you see as the biggest difference between people who just do the business and those who rise in the leadership ranks?
Okay. People who just do the business are transactional.
Mm,
In our business, we are a building a human connection business. So I would say that I have seen people that are transactional. You bring in a sale, done. But this is not a transactional business. This is a human business. So we got to work on helping others to be successful. Like for example, Holly, you. I always bring back to you because you're the host, right? So look, you have people in Iowa that join the program, that bought the product. You could say, hey, listen, I got the sale. But what did you do? Why did you keep flying back? Because
mm,
you want to empower other people. You want to train and help other people to become successful. What is that? That's human connection. That's developing relationships. That is servant leadership. You lead by serving. And so, you know, are there people in our space that are transactional? Yeah, the transactional people are everywhere. But we're living in a time where you watch. We're living in a time that more and more people we want this industry. You know why? Because more and more human beings wanted that human connection.
Mm,
especially with what's coming down the pipeline, that we wanted to connect with one another. I'm telling you, with all this AI, all this technology, there's going to be a lot of layoffs. Yes, there'll be jobs form here and there for data management or whatever, but I'm telling you, there will be droves of people that are looking for not only a business that are not subject to layoff, but they're looking for something that's within their control. And more importantly, they're looking for a platform, a community to connect with one another. And
mm,
so, and that's what we do. This is not about, hey, closing the sale. This is about, hey, you get involved. Let's connect. Let's get a step further. Let me help you get to where you want to go in life. What are some of your goals? What are some of your dreams? These are things that I think is so much needed in the time that we're living in right now.
mhm. I had no idea that I needed that way back in 2008 when I joined this platform. I was working corporate. It was happy hours. I was like, that didn't make me feel good. Like just the social scene, I didn't really have one because I worked all the time. And I had no idea that I needed a community that was uplifting. I needed a
Mhm.
community that there were goals and it was fun and it was learning and so yeah, even today I mean everything Kim said and I know I didn't know I needed it until I joined. There's people
Well,
out
I'm
there.
trying, especially post COVID era, we
Yeah.
even more so we want this,
Or
you know?
even more so than when I
Yes.
did. Yeah,
Yes.
community matters. Okay, what book or resource are you currently experiencing in your entrepreneurial journey?
What book or
Book
resource?
or resource?
Ah, I read a lot. I was an avid reader, I would say. But now it come to a point where I kind of smell the book and I kind of try to get the essence out of the book. There are I would say this, as far as resources are concerned, information is everywhere, but we got to be mindful of what information we're putting in here. So I would say this, I mean, depending on what industry you're looking at, if you're looking at our space, our industry, we have a great resource in the Spark Global channel on YouTube that has a lot of different topics. For people that want to learn more about the science, the product, we have that. People want to learn about how to build, we have that on the YouTube channel. There's also inspirations of different talks and Empowerment Tuesday. So we have all that in place in our Spark channel. And I would say that books wise, I mean, depending where they are, I would say this, Holly, there's one book that actually when I was in this space, what kind of kept me in the game, there was a book called Wave 4. This is an old book. I mean, I'm kind of dating myself, but you can actually, I think it's still available on Amazon. I would say there's two books that come to mind. These are two classics, in my opinion. One is called Wave 4 by Richard Poe, Poe. And it predicted back in those days that there would be a wave of professionals that'll be joining this industry. And I am, when I read that, I was so excited because I was a professional. I was college educated. I would work in corporate America. And because this industry was so misunderstood, I wanted the endorsement. I wanted validation. And when I read that book, I said, I want to be a part of that movement to bring in professionals, in this industry. So there's a lot of interviews and a lot of stories in there that kind of, kept me in the game. And so that's a great book. But the other book I think is very important. It's one of the classic books that I think, as far as finance and money is concerned, that kind of turned me around on how I keep my money, I would say. There's a book called The Richest Man from Babylon. It's a simple,
Mm,
very, very simple read. And I would say this, a lot of people in this industry, when they make money, they really don't know how to manage money. And then money just gonna slip their fingers, right? And so these are two books that I found, especially in the times that we're living in, those are great two books that I would say. But there's many books. I mean, my gosh, and now I read all kinds of books, like esoteric books and all kinds of stuff. So,
Okay, so those two books, Wave
mm,
4, Richest Man from Babylon. Okay, those are great.
yeah,
Okay, a few more questions.
yeah.
Do you have any daily practices that are non-negotiables to grow your business?
Mm, 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 mm. Geez, non-negotiable. I do. I mean, every day I focus on the top. I have every day I have a to-do list. And do I check off every single one? No, I don't. Because there are 24 hours a day. So I would say every day there are certain things that's non-negotiable. For me is one, care about me.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that's I have to learn to self-care and self-love. Um, and the other thing that's non-negotiable is when I hear things that are not positive, I literally cut it. Okay, so those are non-negotiable things for me. Stretch every day. That's non-negotiable. No matter how busy I am, I always find time for that. Um, Non-negotiable. I just focus on the things that's important that need to get done.
Mm-hmm.
Is that whatever that might be? Because every day is different. Sometimes like Zoom, like today's Zoom, you
Mm-hmm.
set a schedule, non-negotiable. You got to do this. Um, and I would say this rather than I mean non-negotiable things is your health.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would say. Thing that's non-negotiable, it's your health. It's my health, your wellness, your well-being. That's non-negotiable. But as an entrepreneur, we have to respond to things that come our way and evaluate. Is this pivotal? Is this critical that I get this done? And so especially for me, like when we're dealing with a global marketplace, now we're talking right here in the North America market. There are things last night I had to talk with Asia, different markets, with the plan international events. So every day I have priorities to set in place. I'll give a perfect example. We have to plan my travel, which I'll be gone for a month in October in Asia. So in the events, I have to plan where I'm going to be, all these travels. So these are every day is different, and so that also it dictates so your list of to do, what is important to you. And I would say this for our fellow entrepreneur building this, that whatever you let's say you're in the building phase, you don't quite have a team yet. Your build non-negotiable every day is go out there every day, make some phone calls every single day, and define your role. What is your role in this platform? Are you a customer getter? Are you going out there and sharing products? Because the role in which you define yourself will impact the approach, how you approach your people. And the way you approach your people will impact the result you get from it. I'll give you a perfect example. If your approach, you talk to people, oh, we got some great product, da da da. You're approaching people from a science, from a product standpoint, you might get somebody say, oh, great, I'm going to try your product. And then you are trying to get them to come to a meeting, you're trying to invite them to come back to a meeting. They don't. Why? Because the way you approach them was product driven. And so, I mean, I hope I didn't go sidetrack in something else, but the point is, there are depending on what phase you are in your business, there are priorities of things that you got to prioritize what you need to do. So for me, non-negotiable is my own wellness. Wellness
Mm-hmm.
not only physically, but mentally.
Mm-hmm.
If there's anything that does not serve my higher good, no, not having that.
I love that.
Mm,
It's because how you show up is how you're going to show up in your business.
yeah.
And so if she's saying no to things that don't serve her higher good, imagine how she's showing up in her business.
Hmm. Yeah.
Very much.
Why take on stuff that doesn't belong to you? I mean, we are all energetic beings. You want to show up at your best. And
Mm-hmm.
because when you show up as your best, guess what? You're going to attract the same vibrational frequency around you and into you.
Mm-hmm. One non-negotiable that I absolutely love is every day you're touching your business.
Mm.
Some way, shape, or form. And it could be with the thoughts and where you're visualizing and you're going, it's reaching out to people, it's just touching in. Like you never have a day that you don't touch in with your business.
Yep.
So that's I
Is
see
your business important to you? See, that's what your priority, right? If your business is important to you, then every day you're gonna make a daily practice.
hmm
So, like Beautifully said, Holly. When this is meaningful to you, when this is important to you, you got to do that. And the other thing very important is this business, when you see a lot of people, Holly, they have a little challenge of asking for help or asking for direction, especially for people who are successful in their own right. They're like, I got this. I know what I'm doing. I would say this, every industry is different. And this is particularly, it's got its own little edge. And you have very successful people in this company and in our community that I would suggest you ask for direction, ask
Mhm.
for some of the tips on how you run and build your business. And so these are little things that are non-negotiable to me if you're working with somebody. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have the last question. So if
All
I
right.
didn't get to your question, just know we've gotten to so many on here and we just could not address every single one. There's more, Kim, lots more.
Okay.
The one that I want to ask right here is how to build real lasting duplication and grow a sustainable organization.
Mm, mm. How to build a okay, this is the true art, right? In this industry, how to build a lasting organization. I think culture, value is what glue the organization together. And so I think how 'cause if it's one person, it's it's fragile. But when you bring a team of people to something bigger than yourself, like in a global community, a community that offers value, that offers meaning, offers connection and collaboration. That's how you build a sustainable organization. That's why we put all this together, cross team, cross cultural in this Spark Global community. And so, how you build sustainability, duplication, it's got to be something bigger than you, outside of you. You got to be that one, but at the same time, leverage events, teams,
Mm-hmm.
community. That's how you build. And so this is contrary to some people who are successful in their own right. They are the force. They are the one. When you are the one, it's too small. I am not the one. Collectively, Spark Global Community is not me, not Samson. It's all of us. It's a collective. We're coming together. A community whereby we're here to serve. It's about love, contribution, and gratitude. That's why we're forming this. I mean, think about this, Holly. You talk about sustainability and duplication and building something that lasts. It is something that offers people value, something that has soul, that's a culture. That's what people resonates with. And so you think about this for the last 2.5 years, Holly, relentlessly. Every Monday we have opportunity showcase call. Every Tuesday we have empowerment call. Every Wednesday we have wellness calls. And all the people doing it are pro bono. Nobody gets paid, but we're here to serve. That is the only way they can build a sustainable organization, is to
Mm-hmm.
leverage something bigger than yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It is the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday calls.
Hmm.
And leveraging all of the events. And
Yeah.
there's a progression of events. There's yes, you're local. There's even, start at a coffee shop, you and someone else sitting across from you, and then you go to a local event, and then it keeps going more. The next event that's even in your region, you get to it. The next bigger event, you go. Overseas, go. So I love the progression of events because you really get to see. And, I went over to Asia in July, and Dr. Alicia and Lisa Barons came over, and there was many more US people all over there. And it was beautiful to see the connection, and which is retention, which is duplication, which is helping everyone else, which is seeing the big picture of where we're going. And that's the duplication
Yep. Well,
on
by the
such
way,
a
what
higher
was your
level.
takeaway, Holly? What was your takeaway from this Asia trip that you went on? And thank you for being there. Thank you.
Goodness. It was fun. It was such a fun time. What was my takeaway? The offices are absolutely magical. Like living in those areas, use those offices. Get in those offices. They're awesome. If I had one right here, I'd be in there every day, meeting people, getting products in people's hands, trainings, all of it. I love the communities. I loved being around all of the leaders, the people, hearing the stories. I love how dedicated people were with showing up and playing full. I mean, the leadership pro retreat. I mean, just what we did there on their, what was that called? It wasn't a scavenger, it was our team building event. I mean, that was wow. So cool. And it was neat because, even though we didn't always speak the same and understand each other's language, we still found a way to work together.
Yep.
And it just and I loved it because I got to see so many people's personalities that I hadn't experienced before or hadn't seen. So I got to see people's personalities come out. And I love that piece of it and being connected to the three community in the APAC region. And of course, having all the North America people there as well. I mean, we had a blast, an absolute blast.
Mm-mm. It's like three is a lot big. It's amazing to watch three unfold.
Mhm.
And having different, international offices. I would say this, that watching you and some of our North American leaders playing the team bonding games, whereby you guys don't speak, they don't understand English, and and you don't understand Chinese or Malaysian, but to be able to work together and to collaborate for a common vision, that that
Mhm.
is what we're doing. And so, and I think whose team won, yours or Dr. Alicia?
And
She is
she,
working with a group of people that don't speak English, and yet they
hmm
won. That
And they
that's just
won.
incredible human spirits. Yeah, yeah.
It was incredible, really incredible.
Mm.
It is. Well, thank you. Thank you everyone for submitting questions. Those are what's on your mind, and we wanted to talk through those, and Kim wanted to answer those, and she's like, I don't want anything scripted. Like, I want raw questions. And thank you, Kim, for tonight. I know it absolutely will move people forward, but your belief in yourself, everyone, and listen, and go back and listen to this again. Listen to what Kim has said because there's so much valuable advice and real life advice, not just three, to live by and to step into your power and go. I mean, we're at the prime of where we're at this year. We have what, 4 months left, 5 months left, and what is your goal? Like, where's your target? Where are you going? And I know we're gearing up for a really busy fall. Wow.
100%.
We are. So awesome, everyone. Thank you, Kim. Thanks for your time. Thank you for sharing from your heart, your everything about you. And you guys, let's do it. Let's go.
Thank
Okay.
you
Bye,
so much, Holly.
everyone.
Incredible. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Bye.